What's up, y'all? You know, we have officially entered the summertime, y'all. So expect new energy to flow. Expect new changes to arrive. You know, if you're stuck in patterns, y'all, try to break those old habits, y'all, and do things that are gonna only cause you to go up in frequency. Y'all, don't let what people do, y'all, cloud your mind or your judgment, y'all. If you truly believe that you have a deeper meaning and reason for why you are here, y'all, you better act on that over time, over a graceful period, because that's what you were meant to do here. If you even have that in your mind, or you just keep thinking, what is there for me to do on this planet besides live as a person they told me to play, and to indulge in fucking things around me. You need to figure out what's the reason for existing, y'all. And if you don't know that right now, that's okay. But since it is summertime, y'all, you know, switch it up a little bit. Maybe come outside here and there, y'all, and get that new energy that's hitting the realm, y'all. If you're somebody who's spiritually in tune, if you're not in tune, y'all, don't worry about it. This video will find you one day when you're on the right energetic plane for this. If you live on the physical side of the world, y'all, I'm wishing you the best, but it's just not, the best thing for you right now, y'all, especially in the world we are living in, because a lot of things are starting to unfold or unravel. A lot of people are going crazy. So when they take it to the streets, or when they take it to somebody else and they blow them their heads off and shit, right? It might not be because they have beef with you, but because this energy is causing them to act chaotic right now, y'all. Since the frequency is rising on the planet, y'all, the people who are stuck living in hell, living at their lower self, or just full of with this shame, this guilt, this fear, and this pride, right? Well, you may feel caused to start acting out of pure violence, y'all, because the energy is causing those demons to arise. And since you are not worked on or cleansing yourself daily, you can't control the possession that's taking place against you, because you don't have control over yourself. If you want truly to attract things in your life, y'all, people, places, or things that's gonna help you. That's how the law of attraction starts, y'all. You must find yourself attractive enough to attract that shit to you. Nothing will come your way, y'all, if your mindset has anything to deal with lack, y'all. You should not be thinking about lack. But yes, that's what's going on right now, y'all, in this world that we are currently living in. People cannot take in this high frequency, so it's causing them to act out in chaoticness, or this, it's like a motherfucker got possessed and you're trying to figure out what's wrong with him. That's the energy that's causing them to act like that. When people told you that the zombie apocalypse was starting to unfold, y'all, I probably didn't get it, but you will see soon enough if you haven't already, y'all. And for the people who see it right now, I told y'all this shit was gonna happen, y'all. And deep down inside, you knew it was gonna happen, because you knew that you felt different from them. They run in hordes and in packs, y'all. You run in silence and alone, like the shadows, or like a dark night, y'all, that can't be seen, But since the summer is here, y'all, let your body work out, Train yourself to stay in constant states of rotation, y'all. When you work out, you don't just rebuild muscle. You're teaching your energy to be transformed throughout your body. And that's what matters most, because your energy, y'all, think of your energy like a lifeline, y'all. When you use your energy, y'all, and not only circulate it, but make sure that every part of your body is getting assist of that life force. Your body starts to do things for you that completely will shock you. You will feel better about yourself, y'all. Your confidence will go up, because you're not just giving your energy to things that's not helping you. That energy was given to you to serve the world and help yourself build up, right? And over time, as you do this, you will see your energy start to work for you in your favor, because you have been taking care of that, But since it is summertime, y'all, eat right, family. Come get sunlight and stick to the organic ways of living, y'all. People gonna tell you that you always need to be in that AC. People gonna say that it's normal to be around boxes all day. But in reality, y'all, your power lies outside. All you need is light, y'all. Your body is the source of the light. When they tell you to walk in the light, they're telling you to walk in your light itself, man. Your high self. Pure fucking light and attraction, y'all. Why you think they can't avoid you when you come around with a light like that, y'all? You know, people don't question the littlest things, but you should question everything because you are the scientist that you may not even know or claim yourself as yet. But a scientist is someone who lives and experiences the tale to give you their book on this life shit, y'all. You know, my body and your body as well are metamorphosing at a constant rate. You know, scientifically, if we are speaking based off the atoms in our body, where everybody's, you know, phase, or let's just say everybody's at different stops in their journey, so their downloading can be different, you know. But this new energy that's hitting the planet, yo, it's gonna increase your consciousness. So the more you're taking in that energy, yo, the more easier it is for you to tap into higher sources of intellect, yo. You know, say you may be going through something, or you don't know what's going on. You know, your awareness is not as sharp as it should be. So that's why it is important to come outside and get this energy, this gamma wave, you know. But before I get out this video, I want to remind y'all, since we're in the summertime, y'all, you know, we're almost at the fourth quarter. We're almost at the end of the year, y'all. You know, this year has went by so fast. But for the people who have used this year instead of wasting the year, you know, I'm happy for you, man. That means you care about the time and the way it runs, y'all. You respect time. Time ain't real, but it's an identity that we all go up, y'all, to know what the fuck we're speaking about, because time is something that only you can have based upon your own perception of how you look at it, you know. But yes, y'all, you know, the sun is shining raw right now, y'all. And if, you know, you want to look good or you want that summer body by summertime or mid-peak summer, y'all, go big or go home, y'all, you know. But remember, family, that don't use that energy that you're having to go to waste, y'all. You know, people will attract nothing if you don't have energy. Energy, y'all, is the richest. You know, the richest motherfuckers don't have energy, and that's why they need your energy to participate in their game, y'all. Think about that real quick, and think about that concept deeply. The richest motherfuckers that run the world are not rich. That's why they need your energy. That tells you everything you need to know and how much energy is vital to you. If that's not the case, why are they trying to extract everything from you? They're not taking your money. They're not taking your clothes. They're not robbing you right here. They're robbing what's inside of you. That, man, this shit get real deep, family. Like the water's up above and so below. But before I end this video, I want to remind you that, you know, your energy is the key to the mansion or to the house of gold that lies within your story to be told within the inner realms of your consciousness, y'all. And the only way you will access this is if you live the organic way of life, y'all. You hold everything that God has given your body within you. Never let nothing go. And I won't have to tell you nothing no more, because your mind will start thinking for itself. Because you're better than any computer ever invented. You are the first computer. Your mind is something that they've been trying to hack for eons, and they still can't. So use it as your advantage, yo. And know that everything's gonna be okay. If you trust yourself and you take this shit seriously, yo. It don't matter how old you are. You must be serious about your mission, about your plan. And you must take action on that, yo, because when you get older, yo, you will have a better feeling about who you are now. You'll feel like you deserve living and maturing to see that state of yourself, you know? But yeah, family, you know, remember this. The war, and the war is always against what you have within, y'all. That's why the enemy never told you about your spiritual currency, y'all. They don't want you physical and spiritual. They want you physical only. Physical is a way to keep you there physically, but to control your mind, y'all. If you control your mind, you control your reality. Remember that. If you control your mind, you control your reality. If they control your mind, they can control you physically. So you will physically always be around them in some form, shape, or fashion if they want you to be that way. You might ask me, why does this matter? Why is this important? Because for you to reach another stage within yourself, yo, you must realize how important energy is. People treat $1 million like, you know, it came before them. But you must realize, y'all, And realize this alone, if you're living in lust, if you're living with no energy, you will never get what the fuck you want. Especially if you were living on that physical side, because that energy that you are now exhibiting to others, y'all, it's not gonna make them feel like all opportunities will arrive, things will happen out the blue. No, because only you and only you alone have a universal energy, y'all. And if you let it go, you won't have shit no more. All you gonna have is silence. All you gonna have is pure unexistence, y'all. And you will feel that, because not only do you feel that way about yourself, that's why you don't like yourself, or you beat yourself up mentally, y'all. You gotta let that shit go and change your ways. And remember that the war is against you. You know, even when I point, and I'm pointing at myself right now, y'all, the war is against me as well. I'm not a rebel and I'm not revolting. I'm just giving y'all something to keep your heads alert, y'all. Be alert like an Amber Alert that hits your phone. Be right on guard with it, y'all. Because once you are aware, y'all, and you enter that spiritual wealthiness, there's nothing else that you will give a fuck about keeping or having, y'all. Because God has already nurtured you from within. You don't need nothing outside of you to feel better, you know. Yeah, it adds on to your ego, and it adds on to you feeling better about your spirit because it came to you. But in reality, y'all, you will feel good without anything as long as you know who you are and why you exist here. Because then again, y'all, you have a purpose to be fulfilled. The world can't live without your light. That's why God has chose you to have a light, y'all. And just by you stepping in His sun in the summertime, you're making that light magnetize and a multiplier, heavily multiplier. Why you think you may feel like you're the only one in the sun while everybody's in the room and outside, you know, can't take that shit because they don't have a light like you, y'all. They don't even think like you. Your mind is so ancient and you're way before your time that you're doing you're doing shit that the world's gonna end up doing years from now, you know. And that's what I say, family. With this energy rising up, yo, if you see people acting out differently, people crashing out around you, or you're just seeing a lot of shit, negativity happen around you, don't think, why is this happening? Know what's happening because it's the Great Awakening. You know, before the Great Awakening happens, yo, the Great Cleansing has to happen. So the universe is automatically gonna repel shit that shouldn't be here no more, because you're slowing down the process of the planet rising to a state of abundance, harmony, prosperity. You know, family? And all these titles that I tell you are just ways or you know, teachings to help you understand that you are going back to your natural organic state, which was finding peace, which was existing and living with just as and nothing else, because you don't need nothing, y'all. I told you, you are what you should already be, you know. But yeah, family, this was the video, and that's why I say, family, that now that you're in the summertime, man, you know, don't let the energy just pass on by y'all, because if you're not gonna do nothing with the energy, somebody will. You know, you may ask me, why does this matter? Because energy is what grabs everything to you, you know. Easier said than done, y'all, but remember this: when you have energy, y'all, you won't have to try hard. All you gotta do is live and let God, you know, guide you down the path. If you walk by faith and you see it, you know, leave it up to God, y'all, and you know, He will show you things that you haven't seen within yourself if you give it time, y'all. You know, it's not gonna take a day if you're thinking about it. It's gonna take time. Time builds endurance. Endurance gives you passion, and with that passion that you feel about yourself, you use that to struck the world in ways that nobody else could. But I'll see y'all, chosen one. Remember, you are the creator of your reality, and these motherfuckers will judge you, watch you, or stalk you no matter what, because just you don't live like them. All they do is think about how does your mind work. But man, that's all I had to say, family. Remember, shine bright out here, because you are like a diamond in the sky.